Hello, everyone. In today's lecture, we're going to be looking at the listening test of IELTS. This is your first lesson on listening part of the IELTS, and I'm going to give you a lot of information in terms of how the IELTS test works in terms of listening test, and I will take you through different types of questions that IELTS offers. In this lecture, we are going to be looking at multiple choice questions and the form completion. So let's get into it. I'm really excited about this lesson. The agenda items, we're going to look at listening test overview, all right? How many parts there are, how many questions you're going to get, and what types of questions you get. Then we're going to look at the types of questions. And then we're going to look at form completion and multiple choice questions. In this lecture, we're going to focus on them. We're going to go in detail as to understand, how you can tackle the form completion questions and the listening choice questions. We're going to be looking at part 1 in this lecture. Then we're going to look at prediction, context, and answers, how we can predict the context and how we can predict the answers based on the context. Really important to understand context. Then we're going to look at form completion questions, and after that, we're going to look at multiple choice practice questions, and then we'll do a whole practice, which will include a combination of form completion questions as well as the multiple choice questions. Okay, so let's get into this. Let's just talk about the overview of listening part. Listening part of the test. There are 4 parts, okay? There are 4 parts of the test, and the number of questions you're going to get are going to be 40 questions. So each part has 10 questions each, and they can have different types of questions. We'll discuss types of questions later on. The time that you get in our listening test is about 30 minutes, okay? And you get plus 10 minutes. If you're doing a paper-based exam, you will get 10 minutes to transfer your answer to the answer sheet. Okay, now types of questions. What types of questions can you get? Type 1, you've got multiple choice questions, which in this lecture we're going to cover. You can get matching questions. So you can have a bunch of A to E sentences or phrases or words, and you will have to match it to the information 1 to 5, for example. So you'll have to match the information. That is one type. We will discuss that in later lectures. Type 3, you can get plan, map, diagram labeling. Type 4, form completion, note, table, flowchart, summary completion. In this lecture, we're going to focus on form completion. Type 5, sentence completion. So sentence could be incomplete and you have to listen for the sentence and we'll have to complete it. It's similar to fill in the gap kind of a style. And then type 6, you get short answer questions, okay? So in this lecture, as we talked about it previously, the form completion and multiple choice question is going to be a focus of this lesson. We're going to develop prediction skills, really. So it's very important to predict what the answer is going to be. And that prediction comes from the understanding the context carefully. So if you understand the context, you will be able to predict the answers. We will learn the strategies to tackle form completion questions. We will learn the strategies for completing or tackling the multiple choice questions. Then we are focusing on listening part 1. So as discussed, there are 4 parts of listening task. We are discussing part 1 today. Okay. Let's get into part 1. There you will hear a conversation between 2 people in everyday context. It's not going to be academic context. It's going to be everyday context. People are just talking over the phone, for example, discussing their travel experience, or they could be talking about delivering something to another country, for example. It will be just in everyday context. It's that in everyday context between 2 people. You will get about 10 questions in your part 1. Right? The audio is going to be same in the same order as the questions. So it's easy to follow the question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If it's a form completion, you're completing the form, you've done question number 1, okay, move on to question 2, 3, 4. So it's very helpful to know that you don't have to panic. You don't have to listen to everything and then answer the questions. You have to follow the audio, write down your answer, and then keep moving. you will only hear the audio once. Okay, so if you missed an answer, you should keep moving because you're not gonna be able to listen. You can guess and move on. All right, that's the tip here. The accents, you can get a variety of accents. You can get British accent, Australian, New Zealand, American, or Canadian. Okay. Question types, again, these are a bunch of question types that you can get: multiple choice question, matching, plan, map, diagram, labeling, form, note, table, flowchart, summary completion, sentence completion, and short answer questions. Okay, and we will be looking at all of these types in all of the lectures in the listening test. Okay. All right, let's move on to this one: predicting context and answer form completion questions. So how do you predict? It's important to anticipate what you're going to hear before the recording starts. You can predict or anticipate the answer by reading the question and reading the gaps and understanding the context. It's very important to understand the context, and if you understand the context, you will be able to then predict the answers. So let's look at this example here. We've got 8 blanks, or we have got 8 gaps that we need to fill. This is form completion. Okay, so it's a form that we need to complete one by one, and we are listening. Before the audio starts, you will have some time to look at the questions. Okay, you will have about a minute to look at the questions. You read the questions carefully and understand what type of information you're looking for. For example, in this example, this is Beckham's shipping agency customer quotation form. Okay, so I can predict that it's going to be a customer calling to this shipping agency and asking them for information. The country of destination where he's going to be delivering the goods would be Kenya. Here it's stated Kenya, right? Name, his name, the person that he's delivering to, his name, the first name has been given to us, so we would be looking for the surname. Address to be collected. So what's the address? It says College Downland Road. So you're looking for a name of the college, right? Town, right? So I'm not going to give you all the answers here. I want you to do this activity on your own. You will have to pause the video and let me show you the questions that you should be looking at. So in terms of predicting context and answers and form completion questions, pay particular attention to the word college, right? So if you go back, it says college. So what kind of information are you looking for? You're looking for the name of the college, right? The name of the college. Pay attention to whether or not the units of measurements or currency symbols are included in the answer sheet. So if you go back, you can see the total estimate value in question number 8 says pounds, right? So you've got a blank, it says pounds. So you're looking for the price of or the estimated value of your goods, okay? So you'll have to be very careful of what type of information you're looking for, because if you can get that in your head, then when you're listening for the information, it will be easier for you to jot down the answer. All right, you'll have to follow the instructions carefully as well. It will always tell you how to tackle the question and what kind of information you should be looking for, okay? All right, let's do this activity. There are 3 questions I want you to look at, really. And the question number 1 here is talking about form. From the information on the form, answer the following questions. What is the conversation about? Okay, so I want you to pause the video here and do this exercise on your own. And when you come back, I will share the methodology of how we are going to tackle this question. Okay, I really want you to do this exercise on your own so that you can synthesize and come up with your understanding of your questions. So pause the video here. I'll see you soon. All right, I hope you got a chance to look at this question. Now let's look at it together. The first question is, from the information on the form, answer the following questions. What is the conversation about? Let's just think about what the question is about. This is about a person inquiring about the prices and delivery and he's calling a Peckham shipping agency, right? And it's all about what is the conversation about? It's about delivery to a destination. It's a conversation between two people. Let's look at B. Who do you think the speakers are? It's going to be, it should be two people, one person who's delivering, and the other person should be from a customer service representative from this Peckham shipping agency, right? Here is a note. Let's just read this note. When you are asked to complete a form in the listening test, it is important to work out what you're listening for and to note how many items you can write. So how many items you can write here? Obviously, it should be a name. For example, that's a name, so it should be one item that you can write, right? Let's look at question number 2. Look at the form and questions 1 to 8. For each of the gaps, decide what kind of information you need to listen out for and write down one example, right? So let's look at question by question. Question number 1, type of information plus example. What type of information are you looking for? Question number 1 really is about the surname, right? So you're looking for the surname of the person, right? The example could be, let's say his surname is Smith. So it should be a name, right? Number 2, it talks about address to be collected from, it says college. So the name of the college. You're looking for a name of the college. Let's say the name of the college is Cambridge. Okay. Town has been given to you, postcode. So whatever the postcode is, you're looking for the code. It could be numeric, it could be letters, it could be a combination of letters and numerics, and you're looking for that kind of information. Width, pretty simple. It's given, length has been given to us 1.5 meter, right? So width might be similar in terms of meters. You can follow the same measurements. So 1.5 width could be 1 meter or half a meter, or you can just use your imagination what could be. Predicting the information, that's the main skill here. Height will be the similar number. You're just looking for a number in meters. And now let's talk about contents. Question number 6 and 7 is about contents. So what is the content? What's inside of the box? So clothes is one of them. What other things? If the speaker says, oh yeah, the clothes are there, I'm delivering clothes inside of the box, and it includes other items, let's say toys or other items. Let's see what it could be. You're predicting the contents that's inside of the box. Okay, so that's the type of information you're looking for. Total estimated value, question number 8. It's easy. It's been given in pounds. You're just looking for the price of, not the price, the estimated value, which will be a number that you need to look for in question number 8. Let's look at question number 3. Look at the instructions and decide if the following sentences are true or false. You can write one word. I think in most cases you can write one word. That's true. You can write one number only. That's also true. For example, in estimated value, there should be one number, right? You can write a combination of words and numbers. In width and height, you can write, let's say 1 meter. So 1 meter can be acceptable answer. So that's true. And then you can write 4 words. Now, I don't see any blank or any gap here that can take 4 words. So that will be false. You can't write 4 words. If you're writing 4 words or 3 words, I think it's going to be a wrong answer. Okay, so let's review the answers here. I hope you got the similar answers. Number 1 is sending a package to Kenya, right? The question was, what is the conversation about? It's about sending a package to Kenya. Second question was, who do you think the speaker will be? Customer assistant from a shipping company. Customer and the assistant from a shipping company. Cool. Let's talk about this one. We talked about type of information examples. So number 1, it's the surname, right? Smith, for example. 2, address. So 24 Kings College. So it could be an address, and it could be the name of the college. Could be an address, could be name of the college. Number 3, postcode. Postcode could be numeric fully, or could be letters and numerics. In this case, it could be numeric. It's just a possible answer, all right? Here, the number of the size, you're looking for a size, could be 70 meter or whatever, like can't be 70 meter. Could, it doesn't look bigger than that. So if the length is 1.5 meter, use your logic, it has to be lower than that, right? So you're looking for a number. 6, you're looking for a noun, for example, shoes, for example, clothes, right? So it could be shoes. 7 could be books, another item of content. And 8, number, you're looking for the cost of everything that is included in that box. Okay, 100, for example. Right, the answers here, 1 word, 2, 1 number only, combination of words and numbers, and or can write 4 words. That's all true, but you can't write 4 words, that's false. All right, let's keep moving. Activity number 2, multiple choice questions, listening part 1 practice. So this one is multiple choice, all right? So you can get a combination of form completion and then multiple choice. In this example that we are going to do later on, we will have form completion and we will have multiple choice as well. So how do we tackle the multiple choice questions? Okay, so identify question type, and you will identify it by looking at if you have 3 options, that is a multiple choice question. You will have to focus on the stem of the question. You'll have to understand what type of question it is, what type of information it's asking for. Think about synonyms, because you'll have to think about synonyms, because in audio, not always same words will be used. They could also use synonyms, okay? You have to keep listening after hearing all the options, because sometimes what happens is that the speaker will give you all the options or give you the right option, but then might change it later on. So you have to be very careful. They do a lot of tricks like this in IELTS listening test, and you have to listen till the end to make sure your answer is correct, okay? This is part 1, a break. In the middle, follow instructions, focus on specific questions. What happens is that if you have a combination of form completion and you have 2, let's say 8 questions are form completion, 2 questions are multiple choice, you will be given a break. Once you do the form completion, you will be given a break, and in the audio it will say, now look at question number 9 and 10 and answer these questions. It will give you about a minute or maybe 30 seconds, and you will be able to listen. It will give you sufficient time to really predict your answer, read the questions carefully, read the prompt question stem of the question, and the options carefully. All right. All right, strategy for dealing with multiple choice questions. Look at the second part of the listening task and identify the question type. So here, the second part of the question type, in part 1, you will get 10 questions. This is the second part. We've already looked at the first part, which had 8 questions. This one is part 2, which has 9 and 10. So question number 9 says type of insurance chosen. It gives you 3 options: economy, standard, and premium. Question number 10, customer wants goods delivered to Ford Home Depot, okay? So you've got 3 options there. In multiple choice question, it is useful to look at the stem of the question. The stem of the question meaning the prompt. Customer wants goods delivered to. You should look at that and identify what you need to look for. For example, I'm looking for the stem type of insurance chosen. I'm looking for type of insurance, and it's been given to me pretty simple. There are 3 types of insurance that he can choose from, and I'm looking for that type of insurance. So when I'm hearing, that's the information I'm interested in. Question number 2, at question 9 and 10 and underline, look at question number 9 and 10 and underline the keywords of the stem. So you have to do this exercise on your own, pause the video and have to do it on your own. But let me take you through first, don't pause at the moment. Let me just tell you what you need to do, and then you will pause the video and you will try to do it on your own, okay? Number 2 says that underline the keywords. So what are the keywords here? Okay, the next step is to look at the options, think about the synonyms and similar words and phrases, as you may not hear exactly the same words. So that's true. It may not say economy, for example. It might say something like the cheapest, and you know, it can use synonyms to be able to to give you the information, but you should know that it's talking about the economy. It's not talking about that, all right? Third question, note down similar words and phrases for option 6 in question 9 and 10. Note down similar words for, let's say, economy, standard, premium. Think about the synonyms, okay, for question 9 and 10. Now, if you know the synonyms and if you have a big range of vocabulary, it doesn't matter what type of information is used in the audio, you will be able to understand what is it referring to, okay? That's why vocabulary building is very important. Now, sometimes in multiple choice questions, you will hear all the options and have to decide which option is correct. So it might say economy, it might say standard, might say premium, but it will give you the context of which one is correct. So that's why it's important. Once you get the answer, don't get too excited. The speaker might change the answer later on, right? He can change up his mind. So it's super important that you listen till the end and decide depending on the context. All right, let's pause the video here and do this exercise on your own. Think about the synonyms, think about what are the keywords in question number 2 and question number 1. Look at the second part of the listening and identify the question type. What type of question type? It's obviously multiple choice. That's straightforward, but do question 2 and 3 on your own. And when you come back, we're going to look at the answers, the possible answers. All right, I hope you had a chance to look at the questions on your own. Let's look at some possible answers. So number 1, obviously, what type of question type it is. It's a multiple choice question. Question number 2, number 9, the keywords are type and insurance. So what type of insurances are there? 10, goods delivered to. Which location is the goods being delivered? Okay, suggested answers for synonyms. So economy, it can say low cost, cheapest. Okay, may not use the word economy. Standard, it can use usual or normal, right? So these are some of the words that you can hear in the audio instead of standard. Premium, most expensive or best. Port, docks, home, residence, and depot, warehouse. It can say warehouse, delivered to the warehouse instead of depot. All right. So now work on your own. Listen to the recording and answer question 1 to 10 on the following pages. We are going to do the whole thing now. You're going to listen and you're going to write down the answers. And very important that you read the prompt, understand the context, predict the answers, and when you're listening, you're only listening to that specific information. Okay, let's do that. So read the question. I'll give you some time to read the questions. Let's play the recording. It will also in the recording give you time to read the questions. So don't panic. You will have enough time to read question 1 to 8 and then question 9 to 10. Do it on your own. Then we'll discuss the answers. Let's do it.
You will hear a telephone conversation between a customer and an agent at a company which ships large boxes overseas.
Good morning, Packham's shipping agents. Can I help you?
Oh, yes. I'm ringing to make inquiries about sending a large box, a container back home to Kenya from the UK.
Yes, of course. Would you like me to try and find some quotations for you?
Yes, that'd be great. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I need a few details from you.
Fine.
Can I take your name?
It's Jacob Mkere.
Can you spell your surname, please?
Yes, it's Mkere.
Is that M for mother?
Yes.
Thank you. And you say that you will be sending the box to Kenya?
That's right.
And where would you like the box picked up from?
From college, if possible.
Yes, of course. I'll take down the address now.
It's Westall College.
Is that Westall?
Yes, college.
Westall College. And where's that?
It's Downlands Road in Bristol.
Oh, yes, I know it. And the postcode?
It's BS8 9PU.
Right. And I need to know the size.
Yes, I've measured it carefully and it's 1.5 meters long,
Right.
0.75 meters wide,
Okay.
and it's 0.5 meters high or deep.
Great. So I'll calculate the volume in a moment and get some quotes for that. But first, can you tell me, very generally, what will be in the box?
Yes, there's mostly clothes
Okay.
and there's some books.
Okay, good. Anything else?
Yes, there's also some toys.
Okay, and what is the total value, do you think, of the contents?
Well, the main costs are the clothes and the books. They'll be about £1,500. But then the toys are about another 200. So I'd put down £1,700.
Okay, great. So from question 1 to 8 done. Let's listen from question 9 to 10.
Okay, right. Now, obviously, insurance is an important thing to consider, and our companies are able to offer very good rates in a number of different all-inclusive packages.
Sorry, could you explain a bit more?
Yes, sorry. There's really 3 rates according to quality of insurance cover. There's the highest comprehensive cover, which is premium rate. Then there's standard rate, and then there's economy rate. That one will only cover the cost of the contents second hand.
Oh, I've been stung before with economy insurance, so I'll go for the highest.
Mm-hmm. And can I just check, would you want home delivery or to a local depot, or would you want to pick it up at the nearest port?
The port would be fine. I've got transport that end.
Fine. And will you be paying by credit card?
Can I pay by check?
Okay, done. So pretty straightforward. If you know what you're looking for, what type of information you're listening for, then you already know the answer and you can predict the answers. You're just looking to make sure that that's the answer that you predicted. Okay, sounds good. I'll just
You will
quickly
hear a telephone
share.
com-
I'll quickly share the answers here. So let's check the answers now. Number 1, M. Carey. That's what he said. College's name was Vestal College. Postcode BS89PU. And then he talks about the height, the measurement. And again, we talked about you can use a number and also the word. So if you have any of these answers, they are correct. 75 centimeters is also correct. 0.75 meter is also correct. M or meter, you can both use either. All acceptable answers. You will be marked. You will be rewarded a score if you came up with these combinations of answers. Number 5, 0.5 meter, and 6 and 7. In either way, in either order, you could say books or toys, right? You could say toys in 6, and you can say books in 7. Doesn't really matter in what order you choose to put those answers, but they should be there. Books and toys is what he mentions. 8, 1,700. He calculates. He breaks the cost down, and he says, let's put down at 1,700. 9, the answer is C. So he says, I want the premium, the best one. Let's go with the best one. So that's why it's very important that he uses a synonym. So a synonym here is best instead of premium. And then number 10, port. So he's going to be picking up from the port because he says that he has got transport at that end. Cool, sounds good. I'm going to share with you in your own time. You can read the transcript here as well, and you can see, how things are laid out. You should be able to understand mostly everything. The accent was pretty clear. It's British accent. It's easy to understand in this case. I wish you all the best. I'll see you in the next lecture.